Good evening. Welcome to this special meeting of the Board of Education. Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Roll call of evacuation procedures is exit all around us, if need be. Roll call of trustees, all of the fellow board members are present. Rachel Gilter is joining us virtually.
Hi.
Thank you, Rachel. Okay, so opportunity for the public to be heard. First of all, I don't know some of the people in the room. My name is Cindy Monahan, and I am the school board president. These are my colleagues here that will be listening to your comments. I wanted to start by reading the commissioner's determination on masking that came out on Friday, which this is a mask mandate from the commissioner, for those of you who are not aware. Effective immediately, in accordance with the commissioner's determination issued pursuant to 10 NYCRR 2.60, any person over the age of 2, including all students, personnel, teachers, administrators, contractors, and visitors, must wear masks at all times indoors in P through 12 school buildings, regardless of vaccination status. People with medical or developmental conditions that prevent them from wearing a mask may be exempt from mask requirements as documented by a medical provider. People do not need to wear masks when eating, drinking, singing, or playing a wind instrument. When masks are removed for these purposes, individuals must be spaced 6 feet apart. All mask requirements must be applied consistently with any state and federal law, e.g. American with Disabilities Act. So, as you know, that is, excuse me, the commissioner's determination on mandated mask wearing in the state of New York. So, with that in mind, excuse me, we will start the public comments that we will time and limit to 3 minutes, please, in courtesy of other community members who would like to make a comment. The board is interested in hearing everyone, but in the essence of time and fairness, that everyone can make a comment, we will be timing and limiting to 3 minutes. We also have board business to attend to that we encourage and welcome you to stay and listen to as Mr. McCree gives us his recommendations for reopening the school in the fall. Okay, so we do accept emails to be read from community members who cannot make the meeting, and tonight I think I only have one. I believe, is there a Mr. Rogers here? Yeah, I did. Okay, so you'll be making a comment. You will be making a comment at the podium, correct?
Yes.
Okay, so I'm not going to read.
Sit here.
No, you'll definitely come to the podium. My point is, I won't be reading your email. You will come up to actually address the board here. Okay. The only email I'll be reading is one of a person who cannot attend tonight. Up?
It's a little difficult to hear.
Yes,
I'm trying to figure it out. Is that better? Is that better?
That's better.
Okay, so again, thank you for your comment, Mr. Rogers, but you'll be able to come up live when it's time for public comments and I'm only going to read the email. We did it, I'm acknowledging we received your email, but I'm not going to read it since you are here. I'm only going to read the one email of a community member who could not make this meeting, okay? So, dear board members, my name is Ryan Lawson, and I am a parent of a child who will be entering kindergarten in the Voorheesville School District this year. My wife and I cannot begin to express to you how excited that we are for our daughter to be attending school in one of the best districts in the state. However, as loving and caring parents, my wife and I have legitimate concerns about how this school year will proceed. Our concern is the masking and vaccination mandates that the district currently has in place, which was communicated by Mr. Jeffrey Pence of the elementary school district, elementary principal. The purpose of this letter is not to debate personal or political ideals as they pertain to the COVID-19 pandemic. The purpose of this letter is to communicate to you, the members of the Board of Education who are responsible for implementing school policies that directly affect our children, as well as the employees of the district, the concerns which are shared by many parents of children attending school this year. The Center for Disease Control, as well as the New York State Department of Health and Albany County Department of Health, are not legislative bodies and do not have the authority to enforce any mandate of any kind. They do not write laws nor pass legislation. As it pertains to the state of the pandemic, these departments can only make recommendations. Article 1, Section 2 of the Constitution of the State of New York states, no person shall, because of race, color, creed, or religion, be subjected to any discrimination in his or her civil rights by any other person or any firm, corporation, or institution, or by the state or agency or subdivision of the state. It is unlawful, according to the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of New York, require children to be masked while attending school, and then deny them in-person education for failure to comply. It is also unlawful to require athletes to be fully vaccinated in order to participate in school sports. This is a violation of civil rights. The statistics are undisputed. A child aged 1 to 14 has 1.5% chance of dying from suicide as compared to dying from COVID-19, which stands at 0.02%. A child is more likely to be killed or injured on their way to school than from this virus. The seasonal flu poses a much greater risk, and mask mandates or vaccines have never been issued before. Prolonged mask wearing reduces oxygen concentration in the body as much as 20%. The only mask which is effective in stemming the transmission of viruses is a medical grade N95, which the user must be fit tested in order to utilize. Homemade cloth face covering surgical masks have a 0% efficacy. Ask yourself, is it fair that adults who are at a much greater risk of complications can go to a restaurant unmasked, enjoy a nice meeting, but our precious children are being forced to wear a mask for the entire school day? Forget fear, does that even make sense? And if that wasn't bad enough, at lunch, children will be socially distanced at 6 feet while eating.
We're at 3 minutes.
Pardon me?
3 minutes.
Okay. So in closing, I am asking you, I'm begging you to immediately rescind the masking and vaccination mandates in the Voorheesville Central School District. And sincerely and respectfully, Mr. and Mrs. Ryan Larson. Thank you. Okay. All right, so now we will begin the opportunity for the public to be heard. Again, Jessica will have a timer on so that you know when your 3 minutes is up. And the podium is right here. And so if someone would like to start comments, again, this is an interaction. The board will listen to your comments, and then we will move on to the next person who would like to make a comment. So please, if someone would like to start by coming up to the podium, we're ready. Okay. Oh, and when you get, please state your name also when you come up here. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Jennifer Brunk.
Oh, do you have a mask? Oh, and as noted, you know, please everyone.
Mask for children, please.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Look, okay. So, there you go. Thank you.
Again, my name is Jennifer Brunk. I really hope you can hear me through this. I have 2 children.
You have a
Can you hear me?
microphone?
No, I don't think so.
There's a microphone.
I have 2
Your
children
mask on, please. Thank you.
in your district, and I am against the mandatory masking and vaccination for COVID. And I would like to email everyone who is a need-free email about my letter of intent to homeschool. I am taking my children out due to your shortfall for community. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you for your comments. May I have the next community member who would like to make comments? Please come to the podium, state your name, and make your comments. Thank you.
Hi, how are you? My name is Alicia Hazen. I am speaking for a couple parents, so I did have donated time to me, just so you know.
No, you get 3 minutes.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen of the board. I'd like to take you back to your junior high and high school days. I'd like to take you back to your memories of your Friday night lights, of your crisp evenings of football, high school. And I want to take you back to this because this is where my fond memories are. This is where my husband and I grew our marriage and our love and our community. We dreamed about one day our children having an amazing school experience, doing football, doing cheerleading, and we were blessed that we had 3 beautiful boys and a beautiful girl. And we're lucky enough that without prompting, they want football, they want cheerleading. And all we want is just to allow them to do these activities. Now, I'm not here to dispute anything. I'm just saying enter in COVID. We can all understand that COVID has consistently been inconsistent, right? One day masks work, one day they don't. One day it's not mandated, one day it is mandated. One day vaccines we need, one day we don't need it. One day you need a mask if you're not vaccinated, and some days you still need your masks even if you're vaccinated. So we can all agree that it's very inconsistent. I do want to take this current moment to thank you all because I am very, very thankful for the hard work that each and every one of you do, because the amount of leadership that has driven this, I value it. I value the leadership in Voorheesville, and I can't imagine the pressure, the time, and the dedication that is taken to listen to this community. Going up against COVID, there has been reputable doctors on either side. So how do you believe it? How do you know what call to make? You don't, because we're not experts. None of us pretend to be. I am certainly not presenting to be an expert. I'm here as a parent. I'm here to present to you the issue of freedom to choose for my kids. Because at this time, I don't feel comfortable putting my kids in a position of vaccination. But I still want the equal opportunity to let them play, to let them do activities. I shouldn't have to, but I find myself being asked, well, why don't you want to vaccinate? And I feel like I have to explain myself, and again, I shouldn't have to, but I will. And my reasons are because it hasn't been enough time for me. You know, I am a registered nurse. I've worked in pediatrics. I've worked in infectious disease, but again, I'll reiterate, I'm here as a parent. But I do know some things. Some things I know. And there are some things about this vaccine, like the mRNA. This is the first time that this has been used. Now, my children are fully vaccinated in every other way, shape, or form. But this is a brand new science. And I am just not there yet. I'm not comfortable yet. There hasn't been enough time yet. This vaccine works as an ADE. And for those of you who don't know that, that means it's an antibody-dependent enhancement. And basically, in layman's term, what that means is instead of giving your body a little bit of a virus to then fight it off, it actually opens up pathways to then let your body accept more viruses. So it actually, if you get more viruses, it actually can put you at more risk for children.
Hey, could you summarize your comments to us?
Sure.
Because we want to hear your final summary.
Absolutely.
Okay? Thank you.
In summary, the CDC and VARS, and I'm happy to supply this if needed, has determined that in 7 months, there have been 10,999 deaths due to this vaccine. There have been 463,000 side effects. In summary, that's 70 deaths per day since this vaccine came out. And again, I'm sorry, I don't want to debate if the vaccine is good, but for me, I'm just not comfortable with that, and I don't think that it's okay to discriminate. So in closing, be that as it may, I think we have to ask ourselves, as a community, what do we want to instill? Because a lot of us are friends. A lot of us, our kids go to school together. Do we want to instill a community that isn't discriminating of the vaxxers versus the non-vaxxers? Or do we want to have a community of togetherness where we can have these Friday night lights where no one's being discriminated against, where we don't have this division and everyone has equal opportunity?
Hey, thank you so much for your comments. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Okay, would someone else like to make some public comments? Come right up to the podium, please.
Can I make my comments from here?
No, we request that you come to the podium, please, and introduce, because you're making them to the board, and we ask that you introduce yourself so we can hear you and listen to your comments, okay? Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Jason Rogers. I'm a parent here in Voorheesville. Earlier today, I submitted a proposal of compromise to the board regarding the school's August 19th fall sports vaccine decree. Is that the email you were?
Yes, and we've all read it.
Okay.
Thank you for submitting ahead of time.
The proposed terms of this compromise are as follows. The school board recognizes that the town of New Scotland and Voorheesville schools do not fall into the Albany County Health Department's area of high transmission as described in the August 19th public email sent on behalf of Mr. Sapienza. And I would ask everybody to refer to the map that was included in the email that clearly shows the entire town of New Scotland, not in an area of high transmission like Colony, City of Albany, Bethlehem. The school board recognizes the new and growing phenomenon occurring in vaccinated individuals, which the CDC and state health departments now refer to as breakout cases. These are cases by which fully vaccinated individuals either come down with the COVID flu or infect others. This means an unvaccinated child is equally exposed to the remote chances that he or she can be infected by a vaccinated person and vice versa. This breakout phenomenon effectively regresses both parties to equal risk of each other. Number 3, the school board recognizes and considers their August 19th decree poses a hardship of conscience on some families. Furthermore, the board recognizes there are viable and more reasonable methods of maintaining acceptable safety protocol. In total, there are approximately, from what I can tell so far, between 4, 5, maybe 6 kids total in the fall sports program, volleyball, football, soccer, that are unvaccinated, that wish to continue playing fall sports. Families of these few unvaccinated fall sports participants All right, this would be the compromise on our part. The families of the few unvaccinated fall sports participants agree to enroll the student in a regular regimen of COVID testing. These families also agree to the burden of submitting test results to the school nurse on a weekly basis for the purpose of ensuring they remain uninfected. Furthermore, unvaccinated sports participants agree they will not ask their vaccinated counterparts to be weekly tested for breakout cases.
Okay. So would you like to add any other comments? We did all read this ahead of time, Ms. Rogers, so if you'd like to make like 10 seconds worth of comments, we can move on from that.
So, I would just ask the board, in regards to the Albany County map of transmission, did you find what I presented accurate about the town of New Scotland and the rate of transmission?
We reviewed your information and, and it,
Okay, so
okay.
I'll just wrap it up here. By reverting back to its original and far less extreme position of weekly testing, the school board would show graciousness, understanding, reasonability, and a willingness to accommodate the convictions of all families of our community. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
God bless
Thank
you guys.
And thank you for sending your comments ahead of time. We appreciate it.
All right.
Have a good evening. Okay. Anybody else like to make a comment? And Jess does have the timer there, so if you want to view over to see how much time you have left while you're speaking, okay?
Thank you.
Thank you.
I am Carissa Mayer.
Oh, I think this one works, Chris.
Oh, this one.
Yep.
Thank you.
Oh, it's the other side.
This one? Yep. Okay, thank you.
Okay. Just off.
Okay.
We can hear you.
I know I was at the last board meeting and we have a short amount of time here, and I want to first say that this has been a really difficult year, I guess, for everyone. As Alicia echoed, I echo that too. I can honestly say Frank's been very responsive and open. I've been in emails and calls with him, some of you, and I really appreciate that. I know it's not an easy seat to be in. And many of us are from this community for many years and have our kids in school. I have 2 kids in school right now, 8 and 10. And I'm also a registered nurse, but I'm really here as a parent. And something that really hits home is, the school's done an amazing job with, getting a lot of things done, testing set up, schools in place, we have kids club. The biggest thing, I look at, and I'm, very, into the weeds of this, is some of the things that we haven't looked at. We don't know what we don't know. At the end of the day, I'm very concerned that we're putting mandates together for kids. And I look at it from this lens. What is freedom, right? I look at that definition. What is freedom? And, it's a political right. It's the ability to change easily and not be constrained in present state. The power, right to act, change, speak, or think as one wants without hindrance or restraint. The absence of necessity, coercion, or constraint in choice or action. Doing things that will not, in theory or practice, be prevented by other forces. So in many ways, I keep saying, I challenge our school board, you guys are smart people, to make some decisions that make sense. There's a lot of things on different sides, and I'm not advocating either way. I think that it should be a choice. And I say this over and over to parents. A lot of parents call me. As many of you know, I'm also running for a town board seat, and I get a lot of calls, emails, and texts. And I get these parents that are saying, well, what do you think as a parent and as a nurse? And I'm candid with them. I give them science and data. I know I've supplied you guys with some, but we don't know what we don't know with the vaccines. That's a big concern as a parent. I also agree that I don't want my kids vaccinated at this point in time, even if it becomes available. But I think what this comes down to, and someone said it earlier, is this is a constitutional right. And I think that really we have to go back to the fact that 2 things. DOH is not a lawmaking branch of government, just like CDC. They're just issuing guidance. They can only give recommendations. But it's up to you guys to do what you think is best for our kids. And as parents, and I'm just saying this on behalf of myself and some of the other parents, I really think that the input's important. A lot of times people come to these meetings and things are already recommended or put together in documents that this is how we're gonna go or present to the board. What about the parents' input, I would ask? And it's really important. I think people have had some really good discussions here. It hasn't gotten violent, nor should it. But at the end of the day, if you already have a plan in place, why are we all here? What does our opinion matter? We aren't a society of fear. I tell my kids that all the time. Like, guys, you know, their dad's in the military. He's got to fight. He's overseas right now. And at the end of BOE has the data. Why are we putting all of Albany County into New Scotland? It makes no sense.
What?